Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Daryl Urbanski, your host as always. And today we are joined by Robert S. Tan, founder and CEO of Blade Auto Center at blade.ph. Since 2004, he has led Blade in building one of the country's most recognized automotive retail brands, serving drivers with products that make every ride safer, smarter, and more enjoyable. With an MBA from De La Salle University, Robert brings over 2 decades of entrepreneurial leadership, retail experience, and business insight to the table. He understands what it takes to grow a trusted brand, lead through change, and win in a competitive market like the Philippines. So I've asked him to join us here today to share his story and insights into making things work. So, Robert, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you, my friend?
I'm very fine, Darrell. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's truly a pleasure and an honor to be part of your podcast.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And I always like to ask, so how did you even get into business? I mean, obviously you went to school for this and that. Are your parents entrepreneurs? Are you carrying the torch?
No, my parents are both lifelong employees,
Okay.
and but they've been teaching us to go entrepreneurial ever since that we started working. And I have three brothers. I have two brothers, and we're three in the family, and we're all working for somebody at a certain point. In my case, I've been working for a company for 20 years
Mhm.
before I made the big jump to start my own business.
That must have been kind of scary. Like, did you get this going? Did you just jump straight into it, or did you have it going on the side, like a sideline, and then make the leap? Or
Well, Darren, two events happened to me in 2004. The first big event was I got to know Robert Kiyosaki. I went
Mm,
to attend an event and he shared his story with me. And that the story about the rich dad and poor dad really hit me very hard. I saw my future in the life of poor dad, wherein
mm,
no matter how good you are at work, no matter how much committed you are and how knowledgeable you are, at a certain point, if your boss doesn't like you, then you can say goodbye to your future.
right.
And I saw my own future in the story of poor dad, and that prompted me to say to myself that I really have to make a big step. If not now, then I don't know if I get older, if I will still have that same energy to do it. Right at that same year, Darren, there's another big tragedy that happened in our family. One of my uncles, who I love so much, who has been supporting me all this time, was caught in a crossfire between cops and robbers. Sad to say, he did not survive that incident. And at that point, I felt like God was really talking to me. He was telling, I heard 12 very powerful words at that time. And the 12 words are, what would you do if this was your last day on earth? If someone as good as my uncle can just be taken away just like that,
Yeah.
then anybody, whoever, how healthy you are, how careful you are, you don't know what will happen. When will that bullet hit you, or
Yeah.
when will that big block of stone hit you in the head? You don't know if you have tomorrow or not. So the two big lessons I had in 2004 was from Robert Kiyosaki. I learned that I really have to start my own business. From the event that happened to my uncle, I said to myself, if I were to start my business, I have to do it now because I don't know if I
Yeah.
have tomorrow or not. And that really um, it, uh, lighted up a fire within me
Yeah.
that's really pushed me to take this big step. I gave up my corporate job for 20 years. I was CEO of the company. I gave it all up and jumped into building my own business.
Wow.
And I'm very fortunate that time I had my wife who is very supportive, and also my sister who also helped out. The three of us just bonded together, and then we started Blade Auto Center in 2004.
Wow. How did you pick the industry?
I have a lot of friends in this industry, and we've been distributing some of the products in this category. A lot of these friends that I'm mentioning are actually past competitors. We've been
Mm,
distributing products on wholesale, and then we sell them to retail stores. And in starting up this new business, I said to myself, I cannot I cannot be in conflict with the previous company that I'm working for.
mm,
But I also cannot do in an industry that I'm completely unfamiliar
yep.
with, because that time when I started the business, I'm already 37 years old.
Right.
And Daryl, I think you also understand that the older you get, the
Yeah.
lesser 5 years that you have, or the lesser chances
Yeah.
of making a mistake that you have.
Feels like that.
I have to jump into something that I have a little bit of an idea in, and yet it's not in conflict with the previous business that I was involved in. So we thought of making something in retail and tapping into everybody who was competing with me when I was at work to become my suppliers in this new category, in this
Ah,
new business.
that's
Since I don't know, I've been taught by my parents to always be, Daryl, my parents taught me to always be mindful of your commitments and always keep your word. And for the past 20 years that I was working for that company, I played the game really hard, but I kept my credibility. And I think that credibility brought me successfully to transition to the next level because all my competitors while I was at work all respected me, all trusted me. Although we are competing against each other, they treat, we treat everybody fairly and we
yeah,
fight everything we do was at par. And somehow I got the respect of the people in the industry. And when I transitioned to become a retailer and invited all these past competitors to become my suppliers, everyone
yeah.
just jumped in and
That's
helped me because they know how I play the game and
that's
I do
fantastic.
everything very fair.
I love that.
For a newcomer, Daryl, we're so happy that on our initial year, we never had any problem sourcing for products, looking for suppliers, because everybody just came in, offered their products, offered the credit line, offered everything, and they were really all very supportive.
Wow.
That is
So
why we took off very fast.
yeah. So how did you solve? Because a lot of times people have a product or service, but they struggle to get customers. So how did
Oh,
you fit that need? How did you tap in?
well, if you're um, I don't know with other countries, but in the Philippines, there are automotive streets in the country, and those are the places where customers who need automotive products go to.
Right.
In the Philippines, that street is called Banawe. Banawe is a street, it's like a high street area wherein there are multiple stores door to door, all selling car accessories. They are all very good and well. The only constraint in that area is that the parking spaces are very, very sparse. Every store will only have one or two parking slots. The typical apartments, you only have two parking slots in front of you. And if you're in the car business, physical slot is like your goal, right? And without parking slots, customers will struggle and find it hard to leave their car because they cannot go shopping if there's no driver left in the car. Another
Mm,
thing is that the street is so crowded and very high traffic. Short to say, it's very inconvenient to
yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
Knowing that we we took a very different approach. We went to the shopping malls, and you know how shopping malls are. Thousands of parking slots available in the
Yeah.
shopping mall, and that became one of our main assets for the direction that main strategy. I mean, we
You
went to the
went to
shopping
the
mall.
customers.
We went to the shopping mall, opened our stores in the shopping malls, and then the customers who pass by will be so surprised and shocked to see a traditional store
Yep.
in a modern environment.
Yeah.
And one more big thing is that we designed our store completely different from how the traditional stores are. Typically, in the traditional stores on the street, they would keep everything hidden in glass windows, afraid of being shoplifted and all. In the shopping mall, what Blade did was we made our stores bright and typical of a boutique environment. We use
Mm,
all very nice merchandise wrap, and all our products are all reachable and touchable. So
mm.
people can touch and see and feel and experience the products before they even buy. They can try out the goods.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
That
Got it.
that is very different from the traditional approach. Another thing also is that we train our staff. All our staff are well groomed and they're all wearing Blade uniform in the stores. So eventually customers are no longer afraid to leave their keys to us. Keys to their cars. They leave with us while they go shopping, while they watch a movie, while they enjoy the shopping mall. We are behind the scene fixing their car, installing their stereo, installing their TV, or doing the maintenance work on their on their vehicles while they are enjoying their family days. And I guess that formula works out because in the Philippines,
Yeah.
shopping mall
The sport,
is
the
the sport.
national sport.
It's also the holiday part, the family part of the people.
Yeah. So what? You left your company. You said, I'm going to start my. We've had some of Robert Kiyosaki's top students on this podcast, actually. I'll have to invite you down. We play cash flow on it, my wife and I. We
Oh,
play the cash flow game regularly. Anyway, but
nice.
sidebar, total sidebar. So you left the company, you left your job, you started this company, and was it just sunshine and rainbows? The pearly gates opened up and money rained from the sky, and it's just been tests and fame since then. Is that
I don't know. Daryl, a lot of people talk about the glass being half empty and the glass being half full, right? Well, we started the business at the time of economic crisis, in times of a lot of retail stores shutting down, a lot of people not willing to invest. Because the time that we started, 2004, there was really a crisis in Asia. Now, it really depends on you how you look at it. Some people would say, this is a bad time, don't go
yeah,
in, don't invest. In my situation, we thought this is a good time. No one is investing. No
yeah,
one's going to the shopping mall. So we had the opportunity to choose the best spot at a
uh,
very reasonable rental
yeah,
because there's no one renting.
yeah,
The malls are vacant at that time. And the malls are very eager to bring in concepts into the mall because a lot of stores are vacant at that time. And I guess all the stars aligned for us,
yeah.
I guess. And we were crazy enough to jump in
But that makes
and
perfect
take that
sense. They
opportunity.
say buy, when it comes to stocks, you're supposed to buy or invest when there's blood in the streets, right? Because that's when everybody's selling. So that makes
Yeah,
perfect sense. And I love how you mentioned that because it's almost like they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
yeah, exactly.
I had a guest on here. His family had a bunch of luxury hotels, and he left to go work for other companies because he didn't want to. He wanted to stretch his legs, see the world. But he was in Indonesia, and there was a civil war, and he said there were tanks rolling down the street. Some of the buildings on that street were on fire because they'd thrown Molotov cocktails into them. And he said we had to have the staff tie bed sheets together into knots to throw them at the window. So if our building got caught on fire, they could escape, but we still had the restaurant. We still had everything. And I had to stop, be like, wait. You were serving meals and drinks at the restaurant? And he's like, yeah, people wanted to get off the streets and go somewhere where it wasn't crazy. And I just like, okay, and like the show must go on. So during COVID, that was a big aha to me too. Like, hey, the wheels of the world are going to keep turning. Like it might seem like doom and gloom and everything's ending, but guess what? The sun is going to come up. You got to put food in your belly. Like the world's not going to stop turning. And I think that that's a really powerful lesson. And that's sounds like you weren't nervous at all. You're like, this is great. You were excited.
We were very, very nervous, Daryl. It was a big jump, and I had two kids. I have family to feed. It was a very, very big risk. But at that point, then my wife and I were thinking, what would you do if this was your last day on earth? If
Yeah.
there was no tomorrow, then whatever I'm risking today is nothing, right?
Yeah.
Because I was living every day as though I have no tomorrow anyway. Might as well just risk everything today. And
I love
every day we were catching up. We were moving very fast. We were moving at lightning speeds because there's no tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that attitude and mentality really helped us become very, very aggressive. I
Yeah.
don't know if you will believe me, but Blade Blade opened one store every 3 months during our first year.
Wow.
When we closed the first year, we had actually 6 stores open on our first year. On
Wow.
our second year, we opened another 7 stores. And as soon as the second year, we were already recognized as the market leader that
Wow.
fast
Wow.
because nobody had a chain of 13 stores during the time that we were operating. Until now, actually, we are still considered the market leader with
Yeah.
over 50 stores nationwide.
Wow. 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 Congratulations. Like,
But I can talk to you like this now, looking back at what happened. But when we were experiencing it, it was very tense and very stressful.
yeah, I believe that. I believe that. So at this stage of the company, where does growth still depend on you more than it probably should?
We're continually expanding. We're very strong now on online. We sell nationwide to the major marketplaces like Lazada, Shopee, and we also have a very powerful own online store called bladeph. On top of that, we continue to expand into major cities. Like right now, we're already in Zamboanga, Cebu, Davao, General Santos. Next month, we're opening in Cagayan de Oro.
Mhm.
Yeah. Metro Manila wise, it's a bit saturated already because we are in most of the major shopping malls in Metro Manila. But outside Metro Manila, there's still some pockets
Opportunity.
of
So, with you in the business now, if you step away for 60 days, what breaks first?
so far done that already. Last Christmas, we were on a break for more than 45 days, I think, 1.5 months.
What?
We did it last Christmas. And happy to say nothing
Nothing broke. That's
that
fantastic.
broke except our sales record. We even sold better because
That,
people were trying to prove that they can do better than the past.
that's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah.
So, today, when someone's ready to buy from you, where do you think most revenue is lost? Like, is it not getting found? Is it that they're not being followed up with? Or is it inconsistency from branch to branch?
I would say more of refilling the inventory because right now we're managing 50 stores, over 50 stores. And these are now, you know how Philippines are. Stores are not side by side. And a lot of them will have to go through sea to reach them. And we're expanding now to Visayas and Mindanao. It presents a little more of a challenge because logistically we have to fill up container loads of merchandise in order to be able to ship them economically. In our situation now, sometimes you can't fill up one container to ship it on time for the store's needs. So it becomes a judgment call. Sometimes we would ship a container that's half full just to make it on time, which presents a little bit of a challenge.
Mm.
And if you're expanding to an area wherein you only have one store or two stores, you may not even be able to fill up a 40-foot container worth of merchandise to fill up that store, and it becomes a challenge.
So, has this been fully solved or it's still being managed?
We're managing it. We're working around it. Like we try to cluster the branches that are closer to each other, although very far, to all combine them in the same container load. In retail, if you don't have inventory in the store, if you do not have fresh inventory in your store, sales will be affected.
Yeah. Because there's nothing for
Yeah.
is issue or ability issue.
It's definitely not a visibility issue. It's more of I guess it's the limitation of logistics because we have to balance the worth of the delivery versus the cost of delivering such goods.
Yeah,
It, it's a it's a balancing act.
got it. So now that you've been running, you're CEO of a previous business and you've grown your own business, and you obviously, you go around and you do stuff, you buy stuff, you have friends that have businesses. What are some of the greatest mistakes you see your clients and other entrepreneurs making?
I guess one big mistake would be not looking beyond what's in front of you. A lot of people would look at, oh, my situation now is like this, so I cannot move forward. I cannot do this. They're setting their own limitations. And if you can't see beyond the thing that's blocking you in front, the thing that's blocking in front of you, then you miss out on what potential of on the opportunities that are in front of you.
Right. So you talk about like people don't know what they don't know. And they have to
Yeah.
be, is that part of it? And they have to be open, or what do you? Am I am I hearing you right?
So there are a lot of things that are beyond our control. Like like right now, we're in this war or something, and if you feel all pessimistic and you can't look past it, and you just end up being miserable for something that you have no control over. All you have to do is just to ignore the news and focus on things that you are in control of and try to look past what's blocking you and move forward, right?
Right. So speaking about that, what do you think are some of the skills and behaviors you think are most important for business owners and their staffs to improve and develop right now?
You just have to keep a very open mind. And the news are there, but they should not be controlling what we're doing. Focus on things that are under our control and build up on that. And for me, we don't really worry about competition. We just focus on the the previous year performance of our own company. We treat our previous year as our main competitor and we try to outdo what we did last year. That's the attitude of everybody in the company, and that's where we built the everything around that idea. I lost
You
your audio.
no, muted, I was muted. Sorry.
Oh,
How do you think AI is AI something that you see? Is it something that you're adopting? Is it something that you see utility in? Is it something that you're paying attention to? How are you guys?
we're looking at we're approaching AI cautiously, but I know that AI can really help businesses. We're slowly working on AI to automate our chat responses for all the basic Q&A. We're also looking at AI helping us in doing some marketing paraphernalias, promotion. It creates very beautiful pictures and videos. Sometimes we use it also for constructing some um, text for certain posts or certain social media applications. AI will definitely be a tool that people can use, but I don't see it replacing people.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, they've been saying we're going to replace people since forever. Calculator used to be a job. I'm a calculator. And then they got calculators and they don't hire people for calculators anymore. And then we had spreadsheets and we're not going to need accountants. And then we had CPAs and we're not going to need, or sorry, then we had QuickBooks and you're not going to need CPAs. And same with, farmers and tractors and all, but I just don't believe the bus one day is going to decide to drive itself and pick a destination. It's just
Unless it's a Tesla.
but it'll drive itself, but you know what I'm saying? Like, why would it go
Yeah.
anywhere? Why?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you've got a self-driving car. Why it doesn't have that spark, that soul. I don't buy that part. I
Mhm.
don't, I'm not a big believer in that personally. So what are some
Uh,
of the habits that you think are like you've been in corporate, you started your own business, you went through growth like a fast growth uptick. What are some of the habits you feel are most important among top performers in successful businesses?
to be very goal driven and to be uh, very speed driven. When we were starting the business, set multiple goals. Again, we were thinking that we will not be here tomorrow. Every day, we set up our own mini goals to accomplish our medium term or short term goal. If you are very goal driven and it's very focused on your job, a lot of things you can accomplish because time will pass very fast. So like before you know it, Daryl, our 1 hour podcast will already be done. If you did not focus on what you're doing or you don't know where you're going, then your 1 hour will pass so fast. With time that time that's gone, you cannot get it back anymore.
Mm.
If you are younger, when you are younger, you will not think that time is an important commodity. But when you reach the age that when I was starting, I was already 37, then I'm starting to feel that I have lesser and lesser chances of failure. And that's when time becomes very valuable to you.
Yeah, that's really well said. I actually have, let me look this up. If you don't mind, I'd like to take you talk about time. I'd like to read my favorite poem on time. I have like a daily, weekly planner. So I
Mhm,
started tracking my day in 30-minute blocks. It was just something
mhm.
that I got. I have a spreadsheet. I plan my week. I plan my day. I try to work it, and it doesn't always match up. But this came because of a mentor me and also this poem. You mentioned time and how important time is. Can I take 30, 60 seconds and read to you this poem on time?
Sure, for sure. Of course, of course.
So it goes, time is the inexplicable raw material of everything. With it, all is possible. Without it, nothing. The supply of time is truly a daily miracle, an affair genuinely astonishing when one examines it. You wake up in the morning and lo, your purse is magically filled with 24 hours of the unmanufactured tissue of the universe of your life. It is yours. It is the most precious of possessions. No one can take it from you. It is unstealable, and no one receives either more or less than you receive. In the realm of time, there is no aristocracy of wealth and no aristocracy of intellect. Genius is never rewarded by even an extra hour a day. And there is no punishment. Waste your infinitely precious commodity as much as you will, and the supply will never be withheld from you. Moreover, you cannot draw on the future. It is impossible to get into debt. You can only waste the passing moment. You cannot waste tomorrow. It is kept for you. You cannot waste the next hour. It is kept for you. I have said the affair was a miracle, is it not? You have to live on this 24 hours of daily time. Out of it, you have to spend health, pleasure, money, content, respect, and the evolution of your immortal soul. Its right use, its most effective use, is a matter of the highest urgency and of the most thrilling actuality. All depends on that. Your happiness, the elusive prize you are all clutching for, my friends, depends on that. If one cannot arrange that an income of 24 hours a day shall exactly cover all proper items of expenditure, one does muddle one's whole life indefinitely. We shall never have any more time. We have, and we have always had, all the time there is. By Arnold Bennett on how to live on 24 hours a day. So I love that you keep hitting that.
Very nice.
I love that. I read that. That's in my list of daily reads, but I get to it like once a week, or whatever. It depends on how things are going. So how do you manage your day and your time? Do you have a structure to it? Like obviously you're juggling, you got kids, you got your wife, you got the business, new locations.
We have committed days. Every week we have already committed days for my parents. I've committed days for my families. And the rest of the day are committed to the business. And 20 years ago, it was a little bit imbalanced because we're starting something new and the focus has been building up the business. But lately, I'm able to lay back a little more and spend a little more time with the family.
And that's important. And I guess that's why you did it, right? You've earned it. You put in the time and got there. So where do you
And also, Daryl, you know, I always remind myself, why did I start Blade to begin with?
Mhm.
Because I want to provide for my family.
Yeah.
And if I do not spend time with the family, then the whole point of starting the business becomes
Yeah.
mute.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that's an important part. You begin with the end in mind. A lot of people, when they get into business, I think COVID was a big wake up call for a lot of people. Like, not for you, because you already had that wake up call, but for a lot of people, they went, hey, what if this is it? Is this how I want things to end? Do I want to, they're stuck at home thinking about their lives and like all that? That was a real big shakeup, I think, for a lot of people. So, where do you see the future of your industry going? There's 3D printing. China's pumping out all these cars. Like I see BYD everywhere now, but they're so new, they don't have any parts anywhere. There's Tesla, there's tariffs. How do you see what do you see in your crystal ball?
Partly, Daryl, why we chose this industry is that, you know, are you familiar with turtle wax?
Turtle walk? No, what's
Yeah,
that?
turtle wax, no? Turtle wax.
Turtle wax, yes. Yes.
Yeah, you're familiar with the floor jack, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All these things has been there since your grandparents' time. And I'm sure these things will still be here up to your kids' great
Mm.
grandchildren. What I'm saying, Daryl, is that this industry that we chose is like an evergreen kind of business. We're not following trends, we're not following any fashion statement or what. We stick to the basics. We go with things that are boring, traditional, and it's something that will evolve, but will always to be there. You may have a shinier looking wrench, but it still be a wrench, and you will still need a wrench when you fix your plumbing. You will still need a screwdriver when you tinker with your car. All these
Mm.
things are still very basic, and we try our very best to stick to the basics. And that's how I can see that our business will survive the EV evolution, the whatever, maybe later on, whatever. You will still be wanting to beautify your car. You will still be wanting to clean your car. You will still be needing tools to fix your car. And that's where we come in. We
Mm.
don't do any, we rarely do any fashion or
Mm.
trendy items in our store. We
Mm.
rarely do that.
You stick to the things that are evergreen. I think that's
Yeah.
really important. I think there's a lesson in there for the listeners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some industries like food, people got to
Yes.
eat, and that need comes
Yeah.
every day. So I think that's powerful. So, what do you
Mm-hmm.
see happening? I mean, do you see more self driving cars in the Philippines? Do you see more cars out of China? Do you see tariffs impacting parts and
Chinese cars
supplies?
will be part of our life very, very soon. Right now, BYD is the number one EV sales in the country right now. And I think BYD is poised to become the next Toyota. If Toyota doesn't shape up,
If they don't do something?
if they don't do something, BYD will definitely need to take over. Tesla is putting up a fight, but at the end of the day, I think the vast majority will go with BYD. And
BYD.
BYD in the Philippines is backed up by a very stable company, Ayala Corporation.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's
Uh,
very, very reliable companies.
I thought BYD was Chinese company and the Chinese government was sponsoring, like they were subsidizing all the
Oh
cars
yes, yes.
because
Um,
they're trying to build the economy.
yes. BYD in China is subsidized by the Chinese government and they're building that economy. You're right, Daniel. But when they distribute it to other countries, that subsidy is carried over. So they
Ah,
become very, very competitive, very affordable. Imagine, imagine you buying a Ford with that same budget, you can buy three BYDs.
yeah, I was looking at some. There's one model, it's a seven-seater and it's a hybrid and it's got a mileage of 1,200 kilometers. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's
And,
insane. I could
and
go
they
to
have a lot of
Baguio and back on that, and I'm in Laguna. Like, that's crazy. Tank of
and they
gas.
have all the latest tech, all the bells and whistles. You can even sing karaoke. Some of them even have a cooler inside. All the crazy stuff. They're all inside the car.
So how do you, I guess you have to do, how do you handle that? Because obviously you want just in time inventory as much as possible. You don't want to have a large bloated inventory base. So
Yes, yeah.
how do you handle that? Because BYD's coming out, but there's no parts anywhere. But there's going to be demand. But you've got all these legacy vehicles. Like, yeah, are you having those
Um,
conversations now, or?
Our focus is on the aftermarket, Daryl. We don't do auto parts. We don't components that go inside the machine or the engine. We focus on things that are more for beauty, maintenance, and care for to make your daily commute a more pleasant and more enjoyable experience.
Hmm.
That's where we focus on. That's why all our products are like the cherry dash cams. Blade also sells radio, TV, entertainment systems. You know how traffic it is here, Daryl, right? And if you're stuck in traffic, you'll be glad that Blade dressed up your car because it makes your ride more comfortable.
So true. I love that. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. That's so great. Robert, I mean, this has been such a great interview. I want to be respectful of your time. We have some more time left, but is there anything I haven't asked you yet that I should have asked you?
So a lot of my whole story, I wrote it into my book. It's called
Mm.
"What Would You Do If This Was Your Last Day on Earth." My book is available on Amazon, and you can Google it or you can search it on Amazon. "What Would You Do If This Was Your Last Day on Earth" by Robertson C. Tan. It's available on Amazon.
What would you do if this is your last day on Earth? On
Yeah,
Amazon by
yeah.
Robert Tan. Robert CSY
Robertson
Tan.
C. Tan.
So tell us more about your book. Why did you publish the book?
When I hit 50, I was invited to speak in schools and university to share my stories. In one very rare occasion, I was invited back to my alma mater, De La Salle University. I went to school. The whole school was empty, but I was so surprised to see in that conference room, there's a big pack of students all went in. But outside the class, it's all empty. And then I asked one of the students, I told them, why is the school empty? And then they said, there's no class today. The university is off today. And I told them, why are you guys here? And they told me they want to listen to business talk, just like what I'm about to give. And that really shocked me. I said, there are students who really want to listen to me. And I felt really bad that I could not leave something behind. So I made
Mm.
it my motive, my goal to write my book at 50 so that the next time I get invited, I have something to leave behind to the students. And also, when my kids are still very young, so I also want to leave something behind, something that they can read what mommy and daddy went through.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's powerful. And people learn best. That's part of why I invited you here. Like people learn best through storytelling, through biographies, through hearing what somebody else did and how they overcame it and the lessons they learned. I've already got some great lessons out of this call with you. I mean, talking about how you went into an industry you had experience in, but you decided to take competitors and align yourself with them. And you tried to modernize something that was traditional and a chronic pain point for people. They say you have to pick one or two, easy, fast. No, what was it? Fast, cheap, or good, right? You can be
Yeah.
have it fast, you can be cheap, or it can be good. You got, pick one or two. If you're good, you get two, and you found a way to provide that better for people. And you talked
Yeah.
about, well, like daily mini goals, living your life
Mhm.
like there's no tomorrow. And so being really intentional about what you want to accomplish and what you want to achieve and being goal driven and having those goals. And then speed. I mean, that's another part of this as well. I can't believe your growth. 14 stores in 2 years.
That really dictated everything because when we were talking to suppliers, you know how retail is. You have to have as many suppliers as you can. You need to provide the variety. Everybody that the people who want brand A will not want brand D. Those
Mhm.
who want brand D will not want brand C. And the goal of the retailer is to carry A, B, C. So you have to really convince the suppliers to invest in your store. One way of establishing that is for you to become a market leader, to make it a point that they think it's already wrong for them not to partner up with you.
Yeah.
And that's what really helped us.
Wow. Yeah, that's so impactful. That's so amazing.
And you know, Darren, when we deal with suppliers, we deal with them not not as Blade a single store, but as Blade with 50 some store. So when we order a dozen of product A, we are literally ordering 50 dozens of product A.
Mm,
And all the suppliers in the automotive industry know that once they put their product into Blade, immediately they have a nationwide presence
yeah. Yeah.
in the category and into a very reputable store. So it works out perfectly for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And so where do you see yourself? Where do you see your career 5 years, 10 years from now? I mean, you've built this company, now you're writing books, you're speaking, you're doing interviews. Where do you see happening next?
We're looking at bringing the concept outside of the Philippines now. It's a mountain high goal, but we hope to be able to come back to you for another interview, maybe when we've already made those steps, maybe 10 years from now.
You want to become an international brand.
Yes, Asia wide first, and then eventually we'll move further around the world on countries that has a market for the products that we are selling.
Right, 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 right. That's powerful. That's powerful. Well, Robert, I'd love to have you back to hear more about your story to see how that turns out. If you haven't, go check out his book on Amazon. What would you do if this was your last day on earth? Robert S. Tan. Robert, one more time. Is there anything I haven't asked you that I should have asked you?
I guess it's nothing more I have to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this has been great. This has been a high signal call. Lots of great nuggets in here. I've got a couple of pages of notes. Thank you for coming and sharing with
Thank
us.
you.
Now you've got your own direct reports, you got your staff, you got your family, your parents, your wife.
Mhm.
Thank you for coming and sharing with all of us so we can all do better.
Thank you, Darrell. Thank you.